George Kilpatrick, inspiration for the nation, celebrating people we feel good about. So last weekend was I want to say the first official holiday celebrating the federal holiday of Juneteenth. Yes, Biden signed it in 2021, but most people had the federal holiday in 2022. And so we got to think, you know what Juneteenth is, right? I explained it all last week. It's the liberation, finally, of those who were still enslaved in Texas on June 19th, 1865 by General Gordon Granger. Okay, so he gave the order. So with my next guest, we started thinking about, or I would say, Nigel will tell you why he doesn't like what I just said in a minute, but Nigel Henry and I started to think about I proposed to him liberation thinking, not only of our bodies, which were freed from enslavement, but what about our minds, right? And so I invited Nigel Henry, who is the chief activator, the CEO of Human Greatness Activation. He has been for the last few decades developing and marketing mastery performance activation tools. I first met Nigel many years ago when he was doing a program called Mastery Unleashed. And that's what we're here to talk about today. How we can unleash the potential, but more importantly, the intention that you might have to be the very best you can be. Activate you through practices that are intended for unleashing the greatness of the extraordinary being that is you. You're innovative, you're disruptive, you're gifted, you are a high performance individual, and we have an opportunity for you at some point in this conversation where you can take your gifts to the next level. Of course, we're in partnership with Human Greatness Activation to make this conversation possible. And so we welcome Nigel Henry to the program. All right, so Nigel, let's get it going, man. Let's talk about there are about 5 or 6 things that we can do right now to unleash the greatness in us. Let's start with number 1.
What is number 1, George? Remind me of number 1.
Well, first of all, let's talk. Well, Juneteenth as a tradition, right?
Thank you. All right, let me address that. Thank you for reminding me. I needed a kickstart. But I was actually contemplating your introduction.
All right, well, so let's start with that. Go back. Let's do it.
Yeah. I'm going there. And here's what came up. We were made in the image of our Creator. And our Creator is great. Our Creator is free. Our Creator is all unlimited. And our Creator is powerful, omnipresent, omniscient, everything there is. And that's who we really, really are. So anything that is not reflecting the Creator is a limitation or bondage. And so when we think about Juneteenth and that whole thing, we were great nation, great race who was placed in physical bondage and distracted to think that bondage was physical, but bondage is actually mental. There's no limit to the human mind. And so as I was thinking about Juneteenth, it's like, no, we need to liberate, like you said, the mind. And when you free the mind, the body follows, actually. So the slave system, in slavery, was actually started with the mind first, and then we got compliance and all that. So, and it became normalized, right? Because everybody thought this is how it is. The enslavers thought it's normal to have humans limited, and the enslaved, thought it was okay. And then a disruptor, President Lincoln, I think, disrupted it, and they're like, well, what are you doing, dude? Everything is status quo here. So rule number 1 is, what do we call it? Disrupting normal and status quo. If you want to be free,
I do have to, now I have to take issue with what you just said.
You disrupted me. Go ahead.
I just have to challenge this idea of Abraham Lincoln being the great
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
disruptor.
I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
I
I would
surrender to that.
okay. If you said
He-
Frederick Douglass, then I'll be okay. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
He
yeah,
was his
yeah.
chief advisor, as far as
Yes.
I'm aware.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
no, he
But
announced it, but it
right.
didn't
And,
originate it. Yeah,
and it wasn't his, he didn't care about
idea.
that. Right, right.
So
Yeah.
Frederick Douglass disrupted his thinking and forced whatever, however, it had to come from the president though, for the
Well,
official.
here's what I'm saying to you. I'm saying that Abraham Lincoln was no great disruptor. I understand. You feel me? I just can't let that
I'm
go.
with you. Yeah, yeah. I accept. I surrender. I think Frederick Douglass was the disruptor.
Thank you. And
Thank
I think also but I think your point is that there have been great liberators throughout history, Nat Turner, all these folks who may not have had who were not able to move in a certain way. Obviously, Nat Turner was killed
No, I
because
think
he led a
disrupted.
rebellion. He led a rebellion, right?
Well, rebellion is a code for disruption.
Absolutely.
So
So
my point, and we can, because we have many,
right,
is that for anyone to be free, whether it's a race or an individual, you got to disrupt. You have to disrupt the president. Hey, dude, I know you think everything's status quo, but it isn't. You have to disrupt. And the number one disruptive tool is the voice. You've got to say something. And disrupted.
Yes.
Go ahead.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Your voice
is the disrupting tool. So that's what Frederick Douglass did. And just by talking, he disrupted whoever was in charge and forced him to do something. And now you see that the reason why there was this delay is because the voice or the message of the voice didn't get to the people. So we have to disrupt whatever is blocking that. So rule number one, disrupt status quo. Do not sit there and hope for change. Disrupt it with this thing.
I appreciate that so much. And you have so many examples. Look, we're all walking around here with phones and watches and all kinds of things that we never thought we needed. But it disrupted the status quo. Uber and Amazon, all these folks, and in terms of the business models, disrupted the status quo. So now
we can even go home some more, just a bit more to amplify that. Once upon a time, rap music it's like the lowest of the low. But now ask Jay-Z. Right?
Ask Jay-Z, ask Kanye, ask Queen Latifah, ask LL Cool J, ask Russell Simmons, right?
Thank you. My point.
They disrupted, and many thought that rap would never last. Now it's obviously part of a hip hop culture, which there are 5 elements of hip hop.
It was a disruptive thing when it started.
It absolutely was, and no one thought it would be. Here it is, many, many years later. But your voice is not only a disruptor; it is also your money maker. Tell me why.
So, this is so relevant to the whole enslaving thing. What people, if we pay attention now, you'll see that slavery, the whole brainwashing, was that you got to go into the field and work. And work and work. And you notice after all that work, there's not much wealth to show for it after 400 years of hard work, because wealth was not done by hard work. It was done by talking. The people that are making the money are the ones doing the talking. The voice is the money maker. So let me just use it a much more easier example to see. The sport of boxing. Okay, boxing, Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali. The guy in the ring is getting his head beaten out.
Right.
But who's making the money? I'll tell you who's making the money. The promoter. What is a promoter? One who talks about boxing. And the commentators, the news network, those guys sitting by the ringside. They're just talking about boxing. And until Floyd Money Mayweather started talking and saying, you know what, I'm doing my own promotion. I'll talk about my own fight. I'll talk about me. That's when he started becoming Money Mayweather. Before that, he was just a boxer getting his head beaten out and hoping that he might get something. But who's that? Don King was making all the money. meaning the person, Don King, is a promoter. What is a promoter? Someone who talks. Does that make any sense? So I just wanted to get as brutal as possible so we can see it clearly. But in all business, in every business, there's only one department that makes money, and it's called the sales department. Everything else is an expense. And what is sales? You got to talk to the people.
Got to talk to the people. That's bottom line, right? You got to talk to the people.
Let's think of who's the richest Black woman that we know in America?
Oprah.
Oprah. How did she make her money?
Talking to people.
Thank you. My point is that the voice is the main. So our people, to liberate your mind, first of all, you got to use your voice to disrupt status quo. Then you got to use your money, your voice, to convey value and get paid for what you're saying versus what you do. This labor is a very low income source. Working class is not the highest paid. Professional means profess to speak. They get paid a lot more. And my people are the best user of the voice. If you hadn't noticed, we got the best voices, man. Anyway, you were saying.
So I was thinking about that because I'm thinking, okay, so if my voice is my money maker, then because there's a lot of people talking, but not a lot of people are making money. So because you follow what I'm saying? There's a lot of people talking, doing a lot of talking. So what's the difference between talk that produces money and talk that doesn't?
That's
and
just not.
Right? That does not. And
great.
It's outside of the comfort zone. Right. So, and I'm sure you're going to tell me it's outside of the comfort zone.
Well, that's a whole nother thing, but your question is very relevant. There's a lot of talking. I turn on the TV, you see talking.
Everybody talking.
How comes they're not rich?
Right.
Okay. The purpose of the voice is to transfer value.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally, you shouldn't open your mouth unless. So we're having a conversation right now, right?
Right.
Do you think our audience is getting value?
Yes.
Right. It's intentional. You have to be intentional when you're speaking with the intent of adding value to the speaker. If I start speaking without intention, then I'm babbling. I'm just making noise. Noise is not valuable at all. Signal is valuable. Intention is valuable. So there's people speaking with intent, like an advert, right? They're like, hi, right? They're intentionally speaking to convey value. And there are people just talking with their eyes closed, meaning they have no idea of the impact of their word. Can you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
You've got to pay attention to the word for it to have value. So that's the first thing, or whatever rule we're on, number 3. Pay attention to your words. Number 3.
So let's talk about then. So staying with that idea of a lot of people talking,
without attending.
A lot of the big money you say is outside of our comfort zones. Talk to me.
Okay, so I'll say that's rule number 4. If you can help me keep track, then because they stack on each other. So
right now we have freedom or liberation comes from disrupting. We said that
the voice.
With the voice, we said that our voice is our moneymaker. And so we're layering 1 and 2, we're bringing some other kinds of things. And technically we're on number, right. So technically we're on number 3. Go ahead.
Okay, level 3. And I think you're helping me. So here's a question for George and the audience. What is the number 1 fear in America?
Speaking.
Public speaking. Talking to the people.
That's right. It's the number 1 fear. And people, and it's more than death, believe it or not.
Thank you. But what is the highest paid profession in the world?
Speaking.
Public speaking. How did Oprah? So do you notice this voice thing? I think the creator gave it to us to deliver money into the world. And money, this is the link to Juneteenth, is freedom. When you have money, it doesn't buy you happiness, it buys you freedom. And I assure you, you'll be happier when you're free, right? So money is not about happiness. Money doesn't make you happy, money makes you free. And when people are free, they're happier. So in the old days of enslavement, you had to purchase your freedom.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yes, and let's stay modern day. If you remember OJ and Johnny Cochran, right? What was Johnny doing? He was using his moneymaker, which he gets paid a lot for, to set OJ free. If it doesn't fit, if he didn't speak, OJ would be locked up and found guilty. But life and death is on the tongue. So whatever way you cut it, the voice is what sets you free, right?
And so you move right into number 4. The lack of money is the main tool for slavery and bondage. But staying with money loves speed as well. Talk to me.
Let me just talk about money. So first of all, money moves because you're talking, right? And if you go to an auction where they're selling stuff, you'll see a guy on stage, and the faster he goes is the more money, and the price is just racking up. Fast talking, you've heard of those people, he's fast talking.
Right.
Right. It's because speed, fast talking is fast money, right? And if you go to the stock market, you see it's computerized. They make millions of dollars per second. They can do
but why do you say fast talking is fast money? Because
money is moved by speech. If President Biden gets up and utters the wrong word, the value of the dollar goes down. We saw it when Trump was tweeting.
Look, go ahead. Remember when they had mad cow disease and Oprah said, "I will never eat beef."
Oh Lord, what she did.
Remember that? And the beef futures went down, and they sued her. I mean, she won, but they sued her
because her voice moved the market. Another guy, Elon, is on some show, right? Joe Rogan, and he's smoking some weed or whatever it was. He's chilling out, and he said something about
Bitcoin. Right.
No, it was about he was talking about Tesla.
Oh, stocks. Tesla. Yeah.
And he said something, and he just joked, and the market moved. And the SEC fined his ass for speaking and moving the market. There's a direct correlation between the voice and money and the speed at which it moves. Now, if you were a billionaire, let me ask you this quick, and for your audience as well. Would you like to make $1 million in 10 years or in a day? Which one would you prefer?
A day.
Fast money.
So finally, you said most of what we've been programmed to think about money are lies. Why? Okay,
beautiful. First of all, we believe whatever we repeat. That's how beliefs are formed. Whatever I repeat, I believe. So when we go to church, what do we do? Don't we repeat the same thing? In fact, there's a book. If you read it over and over again, you're going to read the same thing. And that's how the human brain is programmed.
Right.
Whatever you repeat, and that's why A, B, C, D, E, repeat that so much time, we actually believe it's true. 2 + 2 is 4. Repetition causes belief. Whether it's true or false, repetition causes belief. Do you believe me? Repeat it. So that's the basis of all indoctrination, belief, religion. You got to repeat it.
So what's the lie about money?
Thank you. First of all, the reason why there's poverty is because the masses were taught lies about money, and the wealthy are taught the truth. And that's why we have a massive gap. And so one of the earliest lies we were taught, money is the root of all evil.
Right. And
people believe that. And I believe it.
But it also says money answereth all things. So now what's
yes, that's true. But what does it mean?
Right.
That piece is not a lie. Money runs through everything, is what it's saying. Everything that has value is measured in money.
Mm-hmm.
Money is a measuring device for a spiritual commodity called value. But they don't tell you that truth. No one told me that. I had to pray to God for that answer. But I was told things like rich people are bad and You know what I'm saying? All these things
Right.
to prevent you
A rich
from.
man going through the eye had a less of
Thank
a
you.
okay, yeah. I don't want to get my Bible study
That-
friends will get me upset
yeah,
if I
I
try to repeat. But
understand.
you understand, to the eye of a needle, then okay. So,
Yes,
all right.
but there's a lot. I'm just saying this, George, because the school system excludes money education.
Yeah.
So does the church system. So does the government system. The only people who study money properly are
Well,
MBAs at Harvard and all
well,
those places.
let me challenge that. The church does teach tithing, right? So
Which is
that
one of the principles, but how to
right,
make money.
right. It
I'm not
says
saying the church is lying. I'm just saying it's been removed. It's in the Bible. Solomon was the richest man in the world. If you study his life, you'll understand money. But how many people study that part?
All
So
right.
that's what I'm saying. The knowledge is there. It's not being practiced by the school system. Go ahead.
Right. So Nigel, so that's a tease for a larger conversation, and you have an offer for the audience.
Yes.
Talk to me.
Oh, well, based on the principle that your voice is your moneymaker, I created a 5-day challenge, which I run every month. The next one starts on Monday, the 26th, and then we're doing it again in July, and everyone can apply. But the principle behind it is that since the voice is the moneymaker and there's no limit to how much money I can make, let's spend 5 days working financial miracle. Put money in the bank using your voice. And as soon as I set that intention, I'll discover all the programming and lies and limitations that was preventing me from doing that in the first place. And so in that 5-day challenge, I'll be helping people to see, recognize, and dissolve the limiting programming that was holding back their money maker. And so in 5 days, we're just going to be intensely intending to make money with our voice. And last time I did this, the biggest winner made $80,000 in 5 days, money making. Now, if you're an entrepreneur already, this is what you're supposed to be doing anyway. So if you're an entrepreneur, this will fit nicely. But if you're just a regular employee, it's still worth doing because you'll get to see how useful your voice is for increasing the income in your household. So it's called Financial Miracle Challenge. And to participate, you got to apply. And the link is greatnessactivation.com/FMC. greatnessactivation.com/FMC. And George, we got a special prize, right?
Yes, we will offer a scholarship to one lucky person who is listening to this or watching this. You have to apply at greatnessactivation.com, and we will draw a lucky winner who will win 100% scholarship. The cost of the program, the cost of the cost of the program $790, but you will get a chance to win a scholarship. If you apply, right? We're not just giving it away. You have to apply by going to greatnessactivation.com/FMC. The link will be at the bottom of this video and also on all of my platforms. And so let's get ready. Let's get ready for a 5-day financial miracle challenge. There's going to be one every month, but we're going to help. Nigel is committed to helping you get to where you want to be or where you choose to be. Financial,
be free.
It's time to liberate your mind, and the rest will follow.
Amen.
Nigel Henry, Greatness Activation, greatnessactivation.com/FMC. The link will be below, and you can apply for a scholarship. And if you don't need a scholarship, just apply, pay it up, and let's get going. Looking forward to having a great time. And this is just a tease, more to come. Nigel Henry, thank you so much. Inspiration for the nation.
George. Thank you.